What's up YouTube? Vintage Johnny here with my first YouTube video. This one, as most carpenters do, is going to be my shop tour. Now I use shop as a loose term because it's actually just my garage. I'm a small outfit, I'm just myself, so I do all the designing and building. Also, commercial property is pretty expensive. For most shops, you need to have something that's climate controlled. Most projects, wood, glue, paint and stain, doesn't really do well with wide temperature swings. So I just work here when the weather's nice, kind of limits the amount of stuff that I can do. But one day I'll have a proper shop, but for now it's just my garage. So let me take you on a tour. So as you can see, it's just a simple one-stall garage. I have to be very smart about how I place my tools. I have to bring stuff out when I need it, put it back so that way I have places to cut and assemble. Over here on the side wall, I've got some sawhorses, a decent amount of clamps. Any carpenter can tell you that you never have enough clamps to do your projects. Some plywood that's just hanging out. Behind here, I've actually got my tabletop that I made right there that I put on top of the sawhorses to do my assembly. Any builder, any carpenter is going to always have lots of buckets. I try and keep everything in original containers and cases as much as I can, just to keep dirt off of them. You know, you spend a lot of money on your tools, you want to protect them. So down there in the silver container, the crate, I've got my Kreg jig. A lot of these are going to house like my nails. I've got a palm sander, random orbital sander, screws, fasteners, my saws, tools, more clamps, power cords, some scrap lumber. I don't think any carpenter can ever throw away any scrap lumber. You're always thinking, I'm going to do something with it. Speaking of which, up there I've got a lot of pallet wood that I swear one of these days I'm going to make a table out of. Some scrap leather for some other projects. It's kind of messy. It's spring now, so I'm trying to keep things organized or get things more organized. So it's kind of messy. You can see back in there I've got my chop saw. It's actually on a sliding rolling cart, so that way I can bring it forward and put it up on its stand, which is up there. My workbench is kind of cluttered. Cat food, yes. Cat needs to eat too, so just kind of cluttered, as you can see. Spindle sander that I put on the tabletop when I need to sand stuff down. My various drills, nail guns, stuff of that nature. My drill press. And my contractor grade table saw. Forgive me for the corona. But that's in every carpenter shop, isn't it? You know, you got to have your refreshments. My table saw is there, but as you can see, not a lot of footprint. So, for instance, I built a kitchen cabinet for my parents about a year ago. So I had my table saw set up here towards the end, so it would shoot out sawdust there and keep it from being in here, and I'd sweep it up outside from the driveway. Over here is where I had my tabletop set up. So I would cut and assemble on the tabletop and then just store cabinets here in the remainder of the garage, just stacking them as best as I could. And it got pretty cramped, but we made it through. You have to become very creative, and that's what we are as carpenters. We're creative. We solve those issues as we go. That's my shop. It's tiny, but you know what? It does the job. I can make the projects that I want to make. It's not sometimes about the size. It's just about how patient you are and how hard you're willing to work. But that's it. That's the shop. One day, I hope to take you on a tour of a much larger one. But that's in time. Thanks for watching.